Good afternoon, everybody. Denise Butchko, Butchko and Company, here today with Marina Klima of Klima Design out in New Jersey.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. And we are going to share some great information in Feel the Love February about Houzz, which is what you guys signed up for. So we'll dive right in. I like to be respectful of people's time and get the information and go from there. So let me just, whoops. So we're going to talk about the what, the why, and the how of Houzz. I like a little Houzz about it, kind of fun. I'm a little word person, so I enjoy playing on the words. But just pulling from the Houzz website, I know that a lot of you maybe already are on the platform, and we've got a wide variety in the audience today. I'm really excited. We've got single practitioners, we've got large companies, I've got, Atlanta Closet and Osborne Wood Products and Organized Living and my personal favorite, wineracks.com, Corsi Cabinets, Greenfield Cabinets, iMatch Designers, KCD Software, Painting in Partnership, Booth Hansen Architects, Ravishelf, Tailored Living, Closet America. We've got woodworkers, so a really diverse audience. And obviously you're all participating at different levels. This should give you some insight to the background of what can show up for you business-wise, Google Analytics, how to look at some things. People often ask me in terms of social media, why am I doing this and what's it going to produce for me? And so this particular webinar here is going to show you some of that information. And I want you to keep in mind this webinar is showing that, but as you're looking at social media platforms, there isn't a guarantee or a direct correlation always. There are more and more tracking tools each and every day to help you develop that for your business. But really, this is the way people live now. So open your mind and think about what your marketing is, because it's not what it used to be. And the more you can open that and step into these new platforms, the better your business opportunity, the stronger your brand, you're feeding the top of the funnel. And that's what I want you to keep in the back of your mind as you're thinking about all of these things, is that that's what you're doing. This isn't a yellow page ad. You're probably not going to spend money on big television. And something like Houzz is very targeted. And so keep that in mind. Houzz, according to the platform itself, says that they're a collaborative platform for home remodeling and design, bringing homeowners and home professionals together in a uniquely visual community. And one of my favorite things about what we do is to be very visual, and design-wise, we get that as design professionals. And you can see here just a little quick stat that the daily active users is on the rise for the Houzz platform. The SEO, that whatever they're doing on the back end, and it's a privately held company, so I can't speak to the secrets of the inside, but the numbers continue to grow. And if you participate in Houzz and then you go back and Google your company, you're going to start to see that those first results that show up in Google search are going to be from Houzz. Used to be that what showed up first for me was Facebook a lot, Twitter has a lot of, LinkedIn, but Houzz is very, very strong. They're doing a lot of things right. What is in it for you today? Because that's the most important thing. What are you going to get out of this time that you're willing to trade to learn? We're going to give you some statistical evidence, but not like CSI. We're going to give you some ideas on how to leverage this platform, and then some steps to actually get you going, which are, better known as tactics. For me, I specialize in the closet and custom storage niche, and my background really is marketing. So I help people in the design build professions work with designing platforms, with social media platforms to grow their businesses and to leverage their brand. So I love connecting with people online and learning about your business, sharing what information I can. I specialize in custom storage, so closets, and I actually train people in that capacity. I do also a lot of video, and that's probably one of the next seminars that I will do, is actually about how to use video. YouTube is owned by Google, and it's a very powerful tool. And so I've worked with large companies like Hefela and Doug Mockett. I do blogging for companies, sometimes up front, sometimes behind the scene, and would love to have you connect with me on any of those platforms. I love social media and marketing, love teaching it, love using it, and love turning people on to how powerful it is. And so today's expert, she's going to take us through all this great information, is Maria Klina Mock Goldberg, who's an interior designer from Morganville, New Jersey. And there are some of her sites. She's involved on LinkedIn and klimadesigngroup.net, and would, be a great source for you to connect with as well. Do some collaborating. She started her career as a decorative painter, developed, a passion or an obsession for interior design, has worked with commercial firms like K&L Consulting and even retailers such as Ethan Allen, and established Klima Design in 2001 and has been going strong ever since. So she's got a lot of experience, brings a lot to the table. So you have some familiarity what her website looks like if you want to make a connection. And we have one final note, which is that we came together to do this because it's a great platform. We love it. We love sharing the information. Houzz isn't paying us. We don't have any other business relationships with them. They're not sponsoring this. So there's no liability to them. We are just sharing this information in good faith to get people fired up. And if Houzz is happy about that, that's great, and I don't see why they wouldn't be. So we just want to make that clear that there's no behind-the-scenes relationship that we're not telling you about. We're just sharing some great stuff. So I am going to turn this over to Marina. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for introduction, Denise. And I'm very excited to talk about Houzz because I talk about Houzz all the time. First, I started my introduction to Houzz about a year ago when I established my new website. You saw the website like a couple of seconds ago, and I'm very happy with it. It looks very nice and presentable. But now, what does it do for me except for pretty pictures? Like it's any business owner, all of us want our websites to work for us. And I was like looking into ways to get traffic into my website and also exposure and qualified leads. So this is how it all came about a year ago with a fresh new website. And now I'm going to talk about how I drove traffic and qualified leads that went into contracts and through Houzz platform. So the first question that I had was why participate in Houzz? Like I was, as I said, I was considering all ways of social media. Should I do social media? Should I do Facebook? Oh my God, Houzz advertising. You know, I'm shorthanded. I only have 2 assistants. What should I do first? So if you want to learn about a less time-consuming way to promote your business for free, if you want to do that, that's what it's all about. This is how I achieved my results, and I wish the same for you. And what if I tell you that I spend only 30 minutes a week on getting qualified leads without spending anything on clicks or advertising? And how about additional benefits for your business, such as valuable insight into your clients' problems and desired solutions without bribing them with surveys or prizes or other expensive things that people do in small businesses? This is what really fascinated me about Houzz, and I would like to share it with you.
Whoopsie.
So first, when I went on Houzz platform, I wanted to analyze who is on Houzz. Is my audience on Houzz, and why should you be there, and why should I be there? Consumers come to Houzz for design solutions. They come there when they already have a design dilemma, and they are looking for resolutions. They are ready to buy now or in the near future. and Houzz audiences stay on your website much longer, and your bounce rate is much lower. Consumers have an existing design dilemma, and they are seeking your help. Actually, consumers are divided into two categories on Houzz. Consumers that are looking for your help as professionals, and consumers that are looking for ideas and want to resolve their designs dilemmas themselves. So basically, I have two-sided business. One is my interior design practice, and the other one is my personal blog, which is targeted towards people that really are looking for ideas and they want do-it-yourself. And those two businesses that I have are correlated, and basically Houzz works for me both ways. But what is exciting for people, small businesses and medium-sized businesses, is that really people come on Houzz when they already have hot existing problems that they are looking for you to resolve.
Excellent. So you have been willing to share with us some information behind the scenes that's helping you track what it is that you've experienced, and that's what you're going to talk about here. So here's a screenshot of some of your Google Analytics. Why don't you tell us what's going on?
Okay. As I said, I have a comparatively new website. So my website is only like a 1 year old. So this is one of the latest graphs from my Google Analytics, and it shows the spike in increase in traffic. I have like a little over 1,000 visitors a month, so it's 1,123 visits. But if you look down, if you look at the chart, you can see that Houzz referral is number 3, and I get 180, so it comes third after organic and Google organic and direct traffic. So Houzz comes number 3 as referred as a source of traffic for me on my website. And the spike here that you see, I'm going to explain a little bit later how this came about.
Okay.
And that is due to Best of Houzz award, but we will get back to it. But I think it's really very exciting to see that Houzz is number 3 source of my traffic.
Yeah, that is really exciting.
And also, if you look at column number 2, which says pages visit, you can see that the minutes people spend from Houzz is much larger than first 2 numbers. So in other words, it gives me the idea that it's qualified traffic and it's hot leads. And the most exciting part is bounce rate. You can see that direct traffic and organic traffic is much larger a number for bounce rate than Houzz, significantly larger. Houzz is only 43.3%, and organic traffic and direct traffic is like almost double.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people are looking, evaluating, and they are ready to take action.
That's awesome. So they're going on to more pages on your site. They're spending more time on your site, and they're getting bouncing off the site at a almost less than 50%, more than 50%, a smaller number. So that is wonderful.
Okay, and this graph analyzes, it's just simple Google Analytics that I ran for you guys. And it shows directed traffic, referred traffic. So referred traffic is 403 visits, and number 1 is Houzz. And referred traffic from Houzz is really, really much, much larger than any other for me.
Excellent. Great.
Okay, and this is a comparative chart, which is really exciting. This is how I decided to get into Houzz platform, and this is a comparison a year ago. You can see all the way in the left corner that the orange graph represents the period between January 4th, 2012 and February 4th, 2012 versus now, January 4th, 2013 and February 4th, 2013. So the orange shows the amount of visits from Houzz, and the blue shows what it is now. Okay, so the rate is a 815% growth. This is how much more traffic Houzz is sending me because of the things that I'm going to explain right now.
Cool.
So I'm excited.
All right. Whoops. Okay, so we were here, and I want to just tell everybody, somebody asked what is a bounce rate. It's when you kind of get, I don't want to say the words, but like kicked off the site, or you come on and you realize maybe you're searching for something online, and then that wasn't quite where you wanted to be, so you're bounced off the site, is one way to explain that.
It's like, oops, I'm not there. I don't want to be there anymore.
Excellent. That's great.
So, I think we missed a couple of slides, did we? Oh, no. This one and then next one. Okay. So really, you know, as any business owner, we all think the same way. I mean, similar ways. What does Houzz have? How does Houzz help business growth? Okay, so basically I'm showing you the end result now. Houzz refers qualified leads that turn into contracts. April 2012, it was my first contract, small contract, $3,000 window treatment. July 2012, a lead turned into a customer and turned into $75,000 contract, new construction, still going, enjoying it tremendously, and you know, that's a significant contract that I'm still working on. October 2012, $6,000 contract. January 2013, new contract, hoping to sign it like one of those days, today or tomorrow. She's making decisions, still pending.
Excellent. Excellent. And I wanted one of our attendees, Dave Skinner, thank you, because this is a great way to explain it. For a bounce rate, it's specifically, it's leaving the website without going to a second page. So for those of you who are wondering about that, that's what that is in terms of a bounce rate. And so here now we're leading into a little more of the kind of tactics for Houzz.
Yeah. So this is really like a story, how I got from 20 visits per month to, 20 referrals from Houzz to 188, right? Because the previous graph showed 188 of qualified leads. Okay, so I started with my portfolio. Of course, I didn't know at that time, you know, looking back, that Houzz would be such a successful platform for me. I didn't have Denise to teach me, or somebody else present the webinar like this. So you guys are really lucky. So I strongly recommend to take the profile seriously. To fill all the information out, your bio, the company, about, put as many keywords as you can representing your brand, your business, your name, whatever you want to say in your profile, but take it seriously. And get as many referrals as you can possibly get. Until this number, see the red arrow where it shows 100% complete? This is what it has to say. This is when you really get all the benefits from Houzz, when your portfolio is 100% complete. So basically, you know, Houzz consists of several sections. You know, it's idea books, it's discussions, it's bookmarks, it's projects. So you start with putting the best pictures that you can possibly have of your portfolio in there. And a couple of pictures per project is really ideal. As many projects as you can, because people have different tastes and people have different needs as well. So you can never know who will like what when, you know? So basically it's self-explanatory. You just have to take it seriously. I didn't, so I was moving slowly. You're lucky because you're listening to this webinar, so you will do the right things right away.
And I want to just, I think when you said you want to get as many referrals as, and I think what you meant is reviews, where you've got this arrow, it's actually getting people, which we're going to go into a few tips on how to get reviews. right?
Right, but my bottom line was to get referrals. So I am talking about like
From the site.
how I went from 20 referrals to almost 200.
Okay,
You
gotcha.
know?
Now I understand. Yeah, okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Great.
All right, so how you should spend your time. Okay, I like to answer questions. People, when you post your portfolio, see, this bedroom was very successful for me. My team designed this bedroom, and I, of course, was leading it, and it has been tremendous success. I never knew that it would be so popular, this particular project, but it was selected. You see the number 6,129 idea books that people included it in, which means this is how many people liked this room, and they have questions about this particular room. So idea book is where people select your portfolio picture into their idea book. And then, of course, they will ask you questions. And that part was a little bit new to me because as an interior designer, it's my professional expertise that I'm going to share. And I had different kinds of peewees and reactions to that. I didn't want to share everything. I didn't want to tell people, where to get this fabric from and what color and how to get the tassels for the pillows. And then I thought, well, this is a partnership between my company and Houzz. Houzz sends me referred traffic. People that want to hire an interior designer always will. And people that don't want to hire an interior designer, they will do it themselves, whatever they want to do. It's their business. So I was kind of like answering the questions, and that's like how I decided it for myself, and it brought me results. So it's your decision. You can just say that if it's a custom work, it was custom designed by my company, or you can answer the questions. But that's just like my personal decision. But also, like especially questions that I didn't like so much, I was answering right away. It's like a bitter pill. You want to swallow it and get rid of it. That's how it was for me, because I know that I would never get to it. Of course, if you have an assistant or a dedicated person, you can spend much more time on Houzz and double, triple your referral rate.
Excellent. You remind me of with the bitter pill on the now rare occasion when one of the orange envelopes from the city of Chicago comes in the mail to me with a parking ticket. I go pay it immediately because it is a bitter pill. I'm like, I don't want to think about it anymore. I don't want to be reminded. I just want it to be over. Like, move on.
Also, I forgot to tell you something important.
Ahead.
Like Houzz gives you all kinds of help. They give you like little tags that if you don't want to answer the question over and over again, you can just literally attach it to the walls, to the drapes, whatever you are selling, and give information, whatever you want to give. But then they will not get back to you. So it's like you have to make a decision if you want the traffic attraction back and forth. You have to be like kind of clever about it.
Got it.
Because the more questions, And then I participate in discussions. What you see here is a post by one of the editors on Houzz. Okay, so I read and scan and read, and now I'm lucky I have two assistants to help me out, and they just do the summary for me. But the article was about applying painted wallpaper on the ceilings. Okay, and then I'm like, oh, I have a project like that, and I posted the answer. Of course, you want to recognize the writer. You want to tell the writer what you like about the article. You cannot own it. So I wrote to her that I like number 3 and 4 a lot, and that refers to the pictures of somebody else's portfolios that she's analyzing for the topic of wallpaper, painted wallpaper on the ceiling. And I'm saying I used paintable wallpaper when decorative and dimensional painting was hard, such as on the ceilings. Have a look. And I included my portfolio picture. And as you see, it got 15 likes. Excellent. And now it's even more. So it brings back traffic. People are curious. you know, and that brings traffic to my site.
That is great.
Okay. So award-winning on Houzz. After you are there for a while, I'm not sure about like how long, but I think it's a year. You're eligible to get Houzz Best of Houzz award. Okay. And then what is good about it is that they include you in Best of Idea book. Okay, so it really shows you much more exposure. It gives you much more exposure when you are included in Best of Houzz idea books, because you know everybody that goes there, this is the first they see Best of Houzz idea books. And when you saw the spike in my traffic in first Google Analytics, I don't know if you guys remember, it showed like a random spike in the month of February, and this is not by chance. This is exactly when I got the award, and this is when, you know, traffic increased. And I got a number of calls that week, and actually I have, to be honest with you, I have an appointment tonight.
That's great. Awesome.
Okay. What do you need to do to qualify for Best of Houzz? You have to complete your portfolio. You need reviews, like testimonials from your customers. And you have to be active on Houzz. They want you to participate. They want you to actually to contribute, right? And this is not so hard. If I can do it,
yeah,
like it takes me about, seriously, like a little bit of time, you know, because I'm also strategic about it. I answer the questions right away.
Yeah.
1 minute, done.
Excellent. Don't belabor the deal. And then here we're going to give some suggestions on how to actually ask for a referral. So this is, if people out there, if you want to take a couple quick notes, we sort of gelled this down into a little bit of an outline, but go ahead, Marina, give a little more detail about this.
Sure. A good thing is that it doesn't have to be referrals from Houzz prospects or clients. It can be just your current or your past clients, people that you work, that you completed, that are happy with your work. Okay, so what I write in my email to them, I say, I'm a small business owner and I rely on reviews and referrals. Your project photos, you know, without your name, of course, I keep it all private, are included on my Houzz.com portfolio and have been selected by over 6,000 to over 6,000 idea books. It is really very complimentary, and many people are very happy that not only they like the projects, but so many people liked their room. It's really, you know, wonderful for them. And then I add something positive. For example, I was approached by an editor of a French-based magazine to publish the kitchen and balances because they turned out so beautifully, which is true. You have to be always honest with them. And below is the invitation. So please, Mr. Smith or Jean or whoever your client is, please write a brief review of my work. Nothing formal, just what's on your mind. It would mean a lot to me. That's all I'm writing. And I'm stressing it to them that whatever they write is good, because many people will delay a testimonial or review because they think it has to be something special. So they won't do it at all.
Excellent. I've even, sometimes I'll help people along and I'll put a few sentences, when I'm asking for some kind of a testimonial or so that they don't have to say, could you write it for me? But I'll add that and then they go, oh, yeah, that's great. You can say that. And then it's done.
Right. And this is a sample of, well, of course, you have to put your website on the profile, and you have to have a contact email on your website. This is how you get connected to your leads. They click on your website and this is the comment that I get all the time.
Excellent.
Okay, Marina, I saw your profile, and on Houzz, I'm specifically interested in the beautiful ceiling to floor drapes that you created in the house in New Jersey. Can I somehow source similar drapes from you? I will appreciate if you engage me on my projects. Okay.
Wonderful. How great is that to get an email like that? I love it.
Right.
And so then what you also want to do is group your things into, when you're doing a post, so I put them into projects, which is different than an idea book. So an idea book is something that you can create, that consumers will create. Say that they're thinking about a renovation project, so they want to redo their kitchen, and they will create an idea book about kitchens, and maybe they're going to create an idea book about outdoor patio space. And as they find different pictures online, they're going to put those in the idea book. But what you want to do moving forward for your profile is to group your things by project so that people can see different photos from those projects and get an idea about that. And they may put those in their idea books as well, but you want to use the project as the sort of guiding category. You want to put the Houzz badge on your website, and this is an example of one of the people who's in our audience today, Weber Coleman Woodworks. They actually have a version you can see here. They got a Best of Houzz, and they also have the badge with their other social media profiles. I cannot tell you how important connecting with people on these platforms is. When I am trying to do research, or I find, it could be a company unrelated to design, but if there's some source that I find that I want to be able to remember, the way that I do that is by connecting with them on social media platforms, because here's what that does. It allows them the opportunity to send out their message, and then it keeps popping up for me. It's top of mind awareness. I don't forget about it. I don't write it on a Post-it note and stick it in a file somewhere on a piece of paper and then go back and, oh, you know, I can't remember all of that. So using these platforms is such a great way for top of mind awareness, for people to remember, to find you when they see something about you that they like. So it's huge. It's really huge. And when I go and I'm looking to keep track of someone and they have no social media connections, it kind of freaks me out. And then I just lose track of them because, again, I'm not going to keep a Post-it note in a file anymore. And here's another example from from somebody who's on the webinar today, a different way to put the Houzz badge. So there are different options for doing that. I confess straight up front that I use freelancers to help me with the back end of things. I am not the most technically savvy person, so just being able to field this kind of technology, I don't write HTML code, I don't build websites, I help people in content and strategy. And so you can get, there's a place called Odesk that you can actually find very inexpensive freelancers if you don't have somebody who's helping you with your website. If you have someone who's technologically savvy, which could quite frankly be your nephew or your neighbor, this is not a complicated, involved thing to do, but it definitely helps with your traffic, your SEO, your credibility, your connection to the site. So I want to encourage you, get the Houzz badge on your websites. Because it will help you. You also, in your profiles, you want to link your profiles, and this is an example of, and this is actually Richie DeMarco, who's the mayor of hardware, is a great example of, Richie sells hardware. He's a business-to-business guy, does a great job, and he uses this platform by going in and answering people's questions, having a presence. His other profiles are linked here, so Google Plus, obviously owned by Google, y'all. I mean, it's not as big as Facebook, but you should not ignore that platform. His Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is huge for, I find it to be an incredibly effective platform. Your blog, again, can people find you? How can they search for you? You don't have to do this every day. You don't have to do it every 5 minutes, but starting to create a presence and getting the word out there is going to help you in many, many ways. And so in your profile creation, you can connect all your profiles, and that's what you want to do. That's what this slide is showing you an example of. And so those are a few tactics and giving you Google Analytics on how a lower bounce rate, more traffic, qualified leads. I have a client that I'm working with who's actually going to be doing some television commercials, and what I advise them is counseling, where is your target audience and how can you reach them? And how qualified are they? Because if you're just out there broadcasting something far and wide and you've got a sales team, or you are the sales team, you need to have ways to qualify those people to make sure that you're utilizing your best energies. If, let's say, you do have a sales team, then if all of a sudden you've spread this message and it's not going to the right people, you're going to be spinning around a lot. You're going to have salespeople going out on appointments, not very good qualified prospects. Something like Houzz, something that's very targeted. Any social media platform, you can really hone in on who wants to pay attention. That's the whole thing. It's an opt-in, much like an email marketing. And so that's so valuable, and that's so the way you need to do your marketing in 2013, is to really focus on who is your audience, how can you reach them, what do they want to hear, what do they want to learn, what do they want to see, how will they pay attention to you. Incredibly valuable. So I really encourage you to use Houzz as part of your overall toolbox as much as you can. Start creating some videos. I know that sounds mammoth, but it doesn't have to be. There are tools like, there's a tool that's free called Animoto, A-N-I-M-O-T-O, that you can use pictures and create videos and then post them on YouTube. Blogging doesn't have to be every day. Get a message out there, have what's called evergreen content so that it has a long shelf life, that people will be able to get the benefit from what it is that you're doing. You're sending a message to them. And somebody asked a question here about, on referrals, can you transfer them from LinkedIn? Houzz is very particular about their referral process. They're really diligent about making sure that they're real. So if you have a referral from LinkedIn, you probably need to reach out to that referral again and say, you know what, here is the link. Would you mind putting this on Houzz? It would help me a lot. Just express your gratitude and appreciation and do it that way. I doubt that they would give you a hard time about that. They would probably be happy to help. They love your work. They love you. That's a huge factor. And so it takes a little more energy, but that's how I would address connecting from LinkedIn over to Houzz. And so I am going to get into the questions, but I wanted to let you know that as I do work with design build firms and people in the industry on all of these platforms, if you're interested in a more step-by-step coaching process and program, I actually do have something that you can become involved in that is an on-demand, it's a 3-part course, and it's very niche specific. So every example is related to design build companies, closet companies, cabinet companies, gives you really specific hands-on. There are tutorials, demonstrations. You actually get tasks that you're going to need to do. So it's the kind of thing that gives you an opportunity to sort of not just pick my brain, but get you going on what you want to move forward on and give you a sense of direction, step by step, like a roadmap, so that you're not overwhelmed. I cover Houzz, Pinterest, Twitter, and LinkedIn in this particular program so that it gives you a really good starting place and gives you action steps. We talk about ideas for content generation. That's a big hurdle for a lot of people. And it gives you tips on how to interact with people. I see people not doing it right a lot. Links are posted right, the conversation sounds stiff, they don't know what to say, and so I like sharing with people, here's some ideas on how you can make this work for you. And that is actually the link to this program. As I said, it's an on-demand so that you can go through it, but I also wanted to make it really accessible to people, and I know that people have a lot of questions and want to ask me questions, and I want to make myself available for that. So I reduced the price of the program for anybody who's on this call. And I hate sounding sales pitchy, but this is so much fun for me. And I want to be able to connect with people in this niche. I love seeing somebody take it from nothing into something and really sharing how they connect and get things going and can have success like Marina has had success. And so I made it a great price of $97. That's just a one-time fee. And if you're one of the first 10 people that registers today, you also, I'm going to give you a 30-minute, like, call me and ask me about whatever you want. So any of the platforms, guidance on something, opinions, we can connect via a GoToMeeting, and I can actually help you navigate some more waters that are very specific to you. So you can do that while you're in the middle of the course, at whatever point that seems like it would work for your scenario. I would love to be able to connect with you and have you join me in this process of getting your marketing going. I know most people are small businesses. It's hard to bring the resources together. You don't know what to do. You're just like, it's too much. I don't get it. And so this is going to really hone it down and give you strategies and tactics for leveraging these platforms, which you so need to do. I mean, you so need to do it. This is actually, I have this up on my Denise Butchko site, so that you can just go to that. It's denisebutchko.com, and right there at the top it's posted the marketing toolbox, and I'll have that up there for another 24 hours or so at the special price, because usually it's $197, and I don't include the consultation. So I'd love to have you join me on that and take advantage of it. And now we've got some time, so I'm going to go to these questions and see, Marina, you still there and ready to field some? Okay.
I'm enjoying your presentation.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to read these, you guys. I'm really not the technical guru that there's this illusion that I am. So we're going to try to answer these questions as best we can, and we'll see what we come up with. So the first one from Jennifer is saying, if you're starting your own business and your previous designs are property of your current employer, how do you house, I like that, how do you house without professional, beautiful pictures? I'm going to give my opinion, and then Marina, you give yours. I think that you, depending on your relationship with that former employer and with the client, you might be able to go back to the client site and take some photos and be able to utilize them. That is a touchy ground, because if your former employer has paid to have professional photography done, you know, there's some really uncharted waters there. So how might you respond to that question, Marina?
Okay. Most of my portfolio in Houzz is done by professional photographer and a very famous photographer, Peter Rimwood. So I have a contract with him directly. He makes sure that his name is out there if I post my pictures. But the question is different about the former employer, and I had that question also, so I can completely relate to that question. You have to look into your contract with the former employer. How old is your contract? Maybe your contract expired, maybe it was so many years, maybe your contract is for a year only, you know, maybe it's vague and they cannot go after you. And of course you should bring your own camera and make your own pictures. I agree completely with Denise. You cannot use their portfolio, their photographer, that's 100%.
Got it, yep. Okay. How do you balance site traffic leads, do it yourself, into paid consultant and designer business? And I think you talked about this a little bit with, you know, people are going to do what they want to do, but why don't you elaborate on that?
Okay, so there are a couple of categories. Like my business, as I explained, is, you know, two-sided. I have my do-it-yourself business, which is my personal blog, mydecoratingtips.com. And this is targeted towards consumers that want to do the project themselves. And I also have my local business, which is Interior Design Practice, Klima Design Group. So basically, you know, when people call me and they want to know, they're calling from Houzz and they want information on the project, I give it to them. I just give it to them. You know, where did you find this medallion? I give them the vendor's name because I have nothing to lose. They will never come to me as interior design clients. They live in Alabama. I live in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Excellent. Yep.
so it doesn't make sense for me. I am in partnership with Houzz. They're helping me out. Partnership is partnership. It has to go both ways. So I would not always post the name of the vendor or the answer like openly, but if they call me and ask, I give them information.
Excellent. And somebody asked a question about your blog followers. And before you answer that in terms of numbers, and I would say that blog followers, that is a number that people do grab onto that I don't think, yes, if you're Seth Godin or Mashable or somebody, you know, huge out there, you know, the President of the United States or the free world, that sure you could have millions of blog followers, but that just because you don't have a lot of followers or subscribers on a blog does not make that blog, it doesn't diminish the effectiveness of it at all. I think that it's a number that people get hung up on that is not nearly as important as the fact that you're putting information out there. Most people still don't get that they should subscribe or that you'd like for them to subscribe. That doesn't mean they're not seeing your information or sharing your information. And you would be amazed at the number of people who do read and take in the info but don't actually make comments. I mean, I have offered incentives to sales teams to go on and encourage them to make comments on blogs, and you know, I can't even seem to bribe them. So don't take that too much to heart. Keep moving it forward. How do you feel about that, Marina?
Thank you very much, Denise. I just want to add that I love my blog, and for many reasons. You know, one of them, if I'm doing a project, why not write it down? You know, why not
Yes.
write it down step by step for those people that will never hire me? You know, then I spin it into an article for easy article. Then
Excellent.
I make like an audio in there. Then I link it to my website. So if people, if even like it's do-it-yourselfers, I call them do-it-yourselfers,
Yep.
they still get me traffic and better ranking with Google. So I really cannot lose with my blog. My blog is like comparatively new. I enjoy writing, and I do it all myself, all the writing. I do have assistants that help me with technical side of it, but writing I do myself. And I'm planning to develop it into books, ebooks, online services. You know, this is where I will get the consumers that are not local to me. You know, so this is like to have the business both-sided for people that need a little bit of help, need consultation, that kinds of thing. But it's very, it's in the future. You know, I'm, you know, hoping to get to that. But even if you don't, you know, whatever you are doing, if you just write it down on paper, like on the screen on paper, and you establish your blog for $39 buying a theme from WordPress, that's all it takes. And,
Yep.
and then you just write it down. It can always, you know, just a little bit help your business, help your main website.
Yep. I totally agree. Another question. This one looks long, so I don't know if I'm getting my. So it says, if you sell products and do not perform the actual projects, how would you complete the profile? We have customers send us our products and applications, but can we post those photos under our page? We do not know any other details about the room except on our products. I would encourage you to talk with those people and get permission. That's going to help promote their work as well. I think it's a great way to leverage the platform, and it's a very business-to-business way. The guy I featured, Richie DeMarco, the mayor of hardware, I think does a similar thing. What do you think, Marina?
Yes, I think that there is no such thing as product. It's in somebody's home, in somebody's office, in somebody's lobby, whatever product you make. Like I now work with my favorite collaborator. He is making art, and he is also making cabinetry. So now I sold his paintings, and they're going to be over somebody's fireplace. So he contacted Houzz. He wanted to display. They want it in the room. It's going to be in the room that I designed.
Excellent.
So I'm sure that you have you have to try to get it into something,
Yeah,
into
exactly.
somebody's home. Yeah.
So I think just,
But I don't know, I wish I knew more about it, but I'm sure that if you ask Houzz, they will give you help in that because it's a huge segment there, products.
yes, I agree. Next question. I received calls and emails from a rep at Houzz on marketing packages in the last 2 weeks. Yes, Tim, I have heard of this. Okay, then he says that the email says, I wanted to let you know that we have recently developed exclusive marketing packages that will allow firms like yours to get your work in front of far more Houzz users in your local area. If this is something you want to learn more about, please let me know and we can set up a short phone call. So what that involves is that there are 2 columns. Okay, I'm going to do a little switch here for a moment. Let me get out of this and hope it doesn't take me away. Okay, so if I go to, let me see if I can do this here. No, wait, we got to go to storage and closets because, well, not anymore. There are 2 columns of photos typically on the site. And so the left column, which I can't seem to get to pull up on the screen, the left column I've been told is always going to be organic, and the right column is sponsored. So that's where you're getting this program idea from the Houzz people. And I think it could be very effective. I think it depends on your niche. See, I'm trying to do 2 things at once and I still can't get it to work. So typically you have pictures on this side and pictures on this side. The left side is going to be the organic search. The right side will be people with sponsored programs. And I think that depending on what kind of fees they want, it's very not noticeable, and what they're doing is driving your photos into more people's searches. So I think that that could be very valuable. I've encouraged some of my clients to consider that as an option. I put in the chat box, this was another question about the freelance site. It's Odesk, O as in like Oprah, but not Oprah. It's a great site. That's where I find my freelancers to help me with things that I'm not good at. Somebody said, do you find builders to be on Houzz? Marina, do you find builders to be on Houzz?
Everybody is on Houzz.
Everybody's on Houzz. So yeah, I think you can check that category and you will see.
Yes, I do remember builders on Houzz.
Is there a way to send an update across all platforms? Okay, I'm going to make a little guess on that, the Google plus Twitter, etc. Here's what I want you to know, that social media is a lot about your voice. People don't really want an automated thing. Now, each platform is a little different, so you can use a program called Hootsuite, H-O-O-T-S-U-I-T-E. Let me check, Hootsuite, or TweetDeck. That can, you can do that, but I'll tell you that you don't want to send an automated tweet over to Facebook. It doesn't work. People are going to tune you out. You can do some level of promotion, but each platform has its own unique thing, and you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have time for all of this. But you need to be cognizant. You might need to strategize about what platforms work best for you, where your priorities are, where your audience is, and don't just think that this is like that they're all broadcast mediums, because it really is not quite that, and I don't want to encourage people to do social media that way. I don't like it at all. So while it seems like a shortcut, it's not. I don't advise it. It's not a good idea. What if you are an interior designer, kitchen and bath designer who is not a design build firm? I believe in the design and let them get the best bid business model. I'm not sure what that question is asking. Marina, how do you interpret that?
I don't understand.
Okay, yeah, I'm design and let them get the best bid. Helen, I'm not sure, so I'm not going to elaborate, because I will say that I am really of the opposite thought if I'm interpreting your question. I do not like giving away my design work. because then people will steal it. And then what have I, what kind of a value is that? And I've just wasted my time. So I really believe on leveraging my brand, selling who I am and what I do, and then doing the design work, and that they're buying me and my expertise. And if they want to use that work, they can buy those plans and then get those bid. Another question on Houzz. I understand that my portfolio pics can go on by project name, but I also put the same pic in a different project called Waterfront. Or do I have to do that via their idea book option? No, I think that you can use the same picture in different projects, and I don't think there's any problem with that. I don't think you're going to get like a punishment like you might get slapped from Google sometimes for stealing. You're not stealing content, so let me rephrase that. But Marina, thoughts?
They're very liberal as far as that is concerned. They even let you put your website in the comments for the posts.
So there you go.
They let you post pictures. Actually, in every comment, you are allowed to post pictures. As you could see from the comment that I made on one of the posts, it's not my post, and I just like squeezed in my picture and it had 15 likes.
Excellent.
So they are, they are very liberal as far as like putting all different portfolio pictures. I think that they are like looking at it, the more pictures the better, but I'm not completely sure. I cannot be 100% right on this. That's what I'm like guessing.
I think so, I would guess on that as well. And Carla is sharing that this was in response to somebody's question, I think. I'm just reading it as I see it. The new manufacturer that you work with, for example, a cabinet manufacturer, can provide their professional photos for you, and then you add your own as you progress. So I think that's also a great tip. As I've got hardware vendors for different closet accessories and things, a lot of times they're happy to let you use photos not only for your website, but for Houzz. You're making sure you're identifying those products and you're partnering in a new way, and so you're collaborating, you're both getting business, and I think that that's good. Okay, here's somebody saying we build custom furniture for designers and homeowners as well as our own designs. We take our own pictures, but some of the designs belong to interior designers. Can we display pics of our custom work on Houzz as long as we credit the designer? I would say yes. What would you say?
Well, that's an exposure. If you want to publish my work, go ahead. I will be very, very happy.
There you go.
Okay, if you give me a credit, of course. But the answer is just contact the designer. I'm sure it will not be a problem, just logically speaking.
Got it. Another question from Sonia. Do you recommend Houzz for product manufacturers? We do architectural stone carving like fireplaces. I would say yes. Marina?
I almost source products of Houzz. It's like I go into products and I look what people sell, like yourselves. So they're there. Somehow they got there.
Got it. What is the percentage of the Houzz audience that is local? Ooh, I don't know that we would be able to.
It goes by metropolitan area. It goes by, like, if you're looking for a designer, it goes by city, by state. They have subdivisions.
Got it. And I am just copy and pasting links and revealing my technology weaknesses here. Do you have any tips on how to maximize my profile when I'm a kitchen designer working for a company that is not my own, to build up my own personal business referrals? I do believe that in the 21st century we are all our own brand, whether you're an employee or of a whole different industry. I think you need to have each scenario is going to be a little different, but for one of my clients, we started to encourage the salespeople to even create their own profiles, because that helps further leverage in an organic way, reaching out to additional people. You know, if we have a company platform and then the designers are also having their own platforms, the company, you know, if they leave the company, is probably not going to be that excited. But the truth is, they're probably going to take their client base with them, and there's not a lot that we could do about that in the long run. If that client loves Susie Closet Maker, then forever they're going to find Susie Closet Maker. And so I think put on that hat about your own brand for a little while and see how that feels. Taking your own pictures is good. You know, you have a relationship with that client as well. So I don't know if that answers that quite enough for you, Sherry, but that is what I would say. And let's see.
It also depends on what you sign with your employer.
Yes.
You know, if it's contractual obligation that you signed, you know.
Another question, commenting regarding the question on posting projects on Houzz websites, etc. Tim says he has verbiage in his contract stating that he has a right to take photos and publish for marketing. I also state that I do so anonymously and will only use a client name upon request. A colleague had a client go nuts when she saw photos of her house online, even though her name wasn't listed. Totally agree with you, Tim. I do a similar thing. I put it in the verbiage. It's easy for me, specializing in closets, that people don't really have a way to identify those projects. And, you know, knock on wood, I haven't had any issues with that, but I think that that is the place to put it. I go in, I always take before photos. I have a great new phone, and I even use the phone to take pictures now. But that way I have those for reference for before and after shots. And then I coordinate my schedule a lot going in on the day of installation, and I get pictures. You can also make appointments. So that would be my suggestion. Go ahead.
I just want to add, this is a big paragraph on my contract about publishing the work, and also I read it to them when when they hire me. I read it to them out loud so that they know upfront, and also then afterwards I still get a letter from them allowing me to publish.
Okay, that's very thorough, very good. And then, since we're just past the hour, we have one last simple question, which is about recording the session and can you watch it again. How I would answer that is that I did press the record button, and it is telling me that it's recording. So what happens is that it's got to go through a few steps. But then you should expect, if you've registered for this webinar, that you will get an email with a link to that recording. So within the next 24 to 48 hours, you should have another email. You'll get a follow-up from GoToWebinar, but that's just an administrative thing. But I will actually go in and put a link that will probably take you to my Dropbox account, but it's a public link. So that's probably how you would be able to, barring that all the technology lined up, that you'll be able to access the presentation again. So, Marina, do you have any last thoughts or anything you want to share with people before we sign off?
No, I'm just very excited for you guys, and I think that you're lucky that Denise organized it for you, and I've had an opportunity to present. I'm very excited, and I'm wishing all of you best of success and with Houzz and in your business, and thank you very, very much. And connect with me. I will be more than happy to connect with all of you, LinkedIn, online, however you want it. We need a community here.
Yes, okay. Exactly. And Marina is with Klima Design Group, and you can connect with her there.
It's just klimadesignGroup.net, and I have a contact button there.
Okay, cool. Or her blog is mydecoratingtips.com, or on LinkedIn, which I said I love that platform. You can research, put in the search box with her name, and you can connect with that way. And that way, it's great to be able to ask people in other markets who are doing what you're doing you know, how they're doing it and collaborate and use that as sources and support and brainstorming. So, Marina, my huge thanks to you for sharing great
Oh, it was
information.
my absolute pleasure.
I think
Thank
that
you.
I feel like we did good. We made a positive impact for people, and that's what we're really trying to do. So, yay! Thank you again, and everybody have a great day. And I look forward to, as corny as it sounds, I look forward to seeing you on the internet. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.